Cognizant to the needs of our learners, parents, and teachers, the Department of Education provided us with powerful tools for productivity that will allow us to foster critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, communication and collaboration skills to be compassionate, responsible global citizens. Join us and discover new ideas in our series of professional development training program with the ICT's Edtech Unit and Microsoft Education Philippines. Together, we will equip our learners and empower our fellow educators for a dynamic future. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Sulong Edukalidad.
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng ICT's Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Everyone, good afternoon. This is your tutor today. This is Tutor Nova, and welcome to our subject. It is English for academic and professional purposes, and we are now on our week number 5. All right, so once again, it's a happy Tuesday, and it's our online tutorial for today with me, Tutor Nova. So this is going to be a 40-minute class from 4 o'clock down until 4:40 in the afternoon today. This is quarter 3, week number 5, and it's about how to express your personal opinion. Okay, so before we begin our discussion today, so I'd like to check your prior knowledge for today so that I will know where should we begin in our discussion for today. Well, before we start pala, let me greet everyone who are with us today, the people tuning in from Tarlac City Integrated School, and at the same time, hi to Pearl Moonstone Alexandrate. So thank you everyone for being with us today, and if you wanted to participate or be active in the class and wanted to really participate and answer my questions, you can do that by putting answers or giving interactions via our comment section. It could be on YouTube or here on our Facebook Live. So thank you for being with me today. So once again, this is our first part of our discussion today, and this is checking your prior knowledge. So I have here 3 questions only. So I hope you will help me answer these questions together. So I'll read the question for you, and you can just feel free to put in the comment section what are your answers. It's from A to letter D. So first question is, which of the following is not true about the reaction paper? Is it letter A? It is purely made of opinions. Letter B, it may include the main purpose of the event. Letter C, it conveys incisive insights into its analysis of events. Or is it letter D, it is mainly written to communicate a fair assessment? So what do you think is our answer to number 1? Is it A, B, C, or D? Can you help me with this? It's just a basic checking what you've understood during your past lessons, or maybe you have heard about these reaction paper, because I know your teachers have been giving you a task in writing a reaction paper. So I want to know what is your answer for number 1. Yeah, I think we have tuners today who'd like to answer. Could you help me? I'll give you 3 seconds for that. Is it letter A, B, C, or D? Remember, the question is asking you which is not true about the reaction paper. Okay. All right. How about let's reveal the answers right now? Okay, the answer to this is letter A. It is purely made of opinions. So it is not true that reaction paper is just solely or purely made of opinions, because it's more than that. And we will be discussing onto this lesson the things about reaction paper. Okay, number 2 question. Which of the following can be a form of a reaction paper? Again, which of the following can be a form of a reaction paper? Letter A, lyric poem. Letter B, movie review. Letter C, survey report. Or is it letter D, anecdotal report? What do you think is the answer to number 2 question? Okay, we are still in this part wherein I'll be checking your prior knowledge for today. What do you think is the answer to number 2? A, B, C, or letter D? Okay, yeah. What do you think possibly is the answer to number 2? Which of these choices or options could be a form of a reaction paper? Okay, how about let's try to reveal the answer to number 2, and just try to check if you got the correct answer. It's letter B. A form of a reaction paper is actually a movie review. Now let's have the last question for today. Why should we cite specific sources? Again, why should we cite specific sources? Is it letter A, it helps support claims? Is it letter B, it adds to the creativity? Is it letter C, it makes the paper longer? Or is it letter D, it makes the paper interesting? So what do you think could be the possible reason why your teachers are telling you that do not forget to cite specific sources where you got your data from or where you got your statements from? What do you think is the answer to number 3? Yeah, I know you know this. So just try to look closely on the choices that we have today for number 3. A, B, C, or D? Okay, I think you will get the answer to this. Let's try. Okay, so number 3, let's reveal the answer in 3, 2, 1. Okay, number 3, we need to cite specific sources because it helps us support our claim. So it's very important that you have something to back you up, just in case, specifically to support whatever statement that you wanted to explain or you wanted to really give to your readers or to your audience. Okay, great job. I hope you were able to get a perfect score for today for our prior knowledge checking. Now, for today, we are going to be having our quarter 3, week number 5 for English for academic and professional purposes. Now, I want you to take a look at this picture. Okay, I want you to look closely on the screen. This picture right here. So what can you say about this picture? And in the comments section, I want you to write words that you think describes the picture. Again, what can you say about this picture? Maybe some few words or even just a word that you think would sum up what this picture is all about. What do you think at this picture? Yeah, just a little bit of descriptions about what you can see here. What do you think does these people right here telling us about the totality of this picture? Yeah, any words will be a very great help for you. I mean, for me to know if you have really gotten the idea of what this picture is telling us. Okay? Again, take a look at this picture and tell me something about what you can see on the picture right here. Okay. Yeah, maybe Kylie and Pearl wanted to try their luck in giving the words about this picture right here. Can you try? Yeah, just a brief description about this picture right here. Okay, let's try. Now, I know that you have a lot of things going on in your mind about that picture right here, and I wanted to ask you about the words that you have come up in your mind about this picture right here. What are your bases of listing down those words? Like, how did you come up with the words that you've described this picture right here? Maybe you've described here a picture about an online class, or maybe a student taking a class by listening to the radio, or by having classes through a computer, so online classes. So what are your bases about the words that you have listed in your mind? So do you think that your lists or the words that you have thought about are actually based on facts? And do you consider the words or your list of words that you have in your mind as your opinions? Is it a yes or a no? Yeah, maybe you would say, yeah, teacher, you know what? These words are actually my opinions. Or maybe, no, teacher, not just really my opinion, because I can see there, they're actually having classes. So maybe that's a fact too. So what do you think about the words that you have in your mind, or your idea about these words here? Do you think those are based on facts, or do you think those are just based on opinions? Okay, let's try. So, well, today we are going to be talking about your opinions. So, opinions are actually your own views of certain issues or concerns. So, this is somehow really relatable because you're just talking merely about what you think with a certain idea or with a certain thing. So just expressing yourself, what you are thinking at the moment. So that's why we have here my opinion. Okay. Now, when we express our opinion, we have actually some words that could help us in really expressing our opinions in a good way. So we can use these words that you can see on your screen, like I think it will rain today, or maybe I believe that we have a different perspective in life. Or maybe you can also use the other opinion word. Another word to help you express your opinion is I feel. Like, I feel a little bit sick today. Or you can also say, in my opinion, to really know the person you're talking to, that you're just expressing your opinion. So you can say, in my opinion, William Shakespeare really is the best writer of all time. And of course, you can also say, I would say, and at the same time, you can also make use of from my point of view, or from my perspective, in my view, and it seems to me that. So you can use these different words for you to express your opinion about a thing, or about, basically anything that you wanted to express, just expressing your opinion. You can make use of these words. Okay, so you can also see here examples of ways to express your opinion. When we make use of the word I think, you can say, like, I think technology is harmful. That's just your opinion, right? So for you, it's harmful, but to other people, it may not be harmful. So we also have here another example, which is, in my view, technology is not useful and helpful. So that's how you use the word in my view. And lastly, we also have another example. In my opinion, technology is very important nowadays. So of course, you can make use of the word in my opinion, your opinion about a thing, or about a point, or about a stand. Okay, well, you may also use or just state your opinions without using these phrases. Like, it's a very good thing that you can use I think, in my view, in my opinion. But there are also different ways to express yourself without using these phrases. So instead of saying, I think technology is harmful, you can also say it in a way without using the word I think. You can just say, technology is harmful. Well, basically, you are already expressing your opinion without using the phrase I think. And you can also say, technology is not useful and helpful, without using the phrase in my view. And you can also say, technology is very important nowadays, without using the word in my opinion. So basically, you can make use of these phrases, and you can also opt not to use these phrases for you to express your opinion. You can just state your sentence in that kind of way. But if you are in a formal setting, it would be appropriate to use these phrases. So it's important that you should use I think, in my view, in my opinion, if it is a formal setting. But if it is not a formal setting, you can just not use these phrases and go directly to your main point or about your opinion. And at the same time, you're also entitled to your own opinions, but these opinions must be based on facts so that you will not be biased. So it is very important that you will not be focused only on giving opinions. You must also look for information that will help support your opinion. Okay. And moving on to our next slide. So I have here another picture that I want you guys to describe for me. So earlier, I've already shared about these phrases that you can use when you wanted to express your opinion. And I want you to try it today. Okay? So I want you to take a look at this picture. And I have here a question for you. What do you think about online classes? So you can write your answers on the comment section. So what do you think about online classes? So again, you can make use of these phrases right here for you to really have a formal way of saying your opinions. Okay, yeah, maybe just one sentence will do. So what do you think about online classes or online class? Yeah, maybe you can say, well, in my opinion, online class is a bit difficult, especially because the internet is not stable. You can say it that way by using the word I think. Or in my view, online class is a little bit difficult because the internet nowadays is very unstable. Okay, how about you? Can I hear your thoughts about online class? Okay, just a brief description will do. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I think that was my opinion about online class. Okay, yeah, I'd like to hear your opinion later on. Okay, so in expressing your opinions, everyone, you should, of course, write your opinions in complete sentences, okay? Well, because it's important to write it in a complete sentence so that your thoughts are actually complete. Everyone will get your opinion completely and clearly as well. And at the same time, you also need to add the facts and your explanation to support your opinions. Yes, for you not to be really biased about your personal opinion, you always make sure to have a factual explanation about your opinion for you to support it. Okay, so we got here, add the facts and your explanation to support your opinions. So how do you do that? You do that by doing research online or look into some books for facts to support your opinions. So always remember to really have a support when it comes to giving your own opinion about a thing. It's important that you have factual basis as well. So you do that by having research or at the same time looking into some online books or even books on the libraries. Okay? And we also have here tuners from Calamba City, Laguna. Thank you for tuning in with us today. Hi, Agatha. Thank you for tuning in with us. Okay. All right, so we got here an example on how to have your, what do you call this one? Sources when you wanted to add the facts or explanation to support your opinion. So you do that when it comes to printed sources, the sources that you can hold, that you can touch. Those are what we call the printed sources, so the books. So you need to put the title, the author's name, the year of publication, and the volume number if it's a magazine or encyclopedia. And you also need to put there the page numbers where you based your opinions from. And if it is an online source, you also need to put the author or the editor there. And at the same time, you also need to put the title of page or website. And at the same time, you need to put the company or organization. And most importantly, do not forget to paste the link or the URL so that your tuners, or your readers, will also be able to look into the details about the research or the base of your opinion or your statement. And also you need to put their date where you got the source. So that's it. Always remember, these are how you do your printed source. You take note of that. And this is how you do your online source now. And hi to Kylie. Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for being with us today. Okay. Now, I'd like you to take a look at your screen closely here. And let's try to consider the following scenarios here. And I will be reading it for you. So I hope you will read along with me at home. Okay. Zenny had to write a reaction paper on the article that they have just read in class. Jack watched a movie and wrote a long post on his Facebook account to say that he liked it while analyzing the movie using a feminist perspective. Rosie is an art critic and she attended an art exhibition at the Ayala Museum, after which she wrote a review on her blog about one of the paintings that caught her attention. Okay, now I want you to take a look at the scenarios once again. So what can you say about Zenny, Jack, and Rosie? What can you, how will you describe about Zenny, Jack, and Rosie? Yeah, Kylie, can you help me with this? What can you say about these following scenarios here? Zenny here is writing a reaction paper. Jack here wrote a long post on his Facebook account. And Rosie here actually did a review on her blog. So what can you say about these following reactions? Yeah? Can you tell me a brief description about what do you think about these following reactions or scenarios, I mean? Yeah, what common theme or what can you say about these scenarios right here? Okay, well, Zenny, Jack, and Rosie, all of them actually involved about evaluating something they read or watched using their reactions or opinions. Well, if you think writing a reaction paper, review, and critique is hard, think again, because you have been evaluating and reacting to different works without knowing it. So by simply doing these things, like what Zenny, Jack, and Rosie did, like after you watched a movie, after going to an exhibit, or you do that, you have been doing that, right? And that's actually what we call a critique, or writing your own reaction about something. And you have been doing that in day-to-day basis, which is such a great thing about doing a critique or reactions. Okay, so again, what common theme do you find in all of the scenarios right there? So again, all of them involved evaluating something they read or watched using their reactions or opinions. Okay, now I would like you to take a look again on another write-up in there on the screen. So it's about my reaction paper. So I'll be reading it for you, and you can also try to read along with me at home, okay? Okay, here, my reaction paper. I am so disappointed at what the author said. He is very wrong about what he said. I do not like what he wrote, and I also hate all his articles. He has been doing that almost often. He is a very boastful writer. He only likes to talk about politics, but he does not know anything about it in reality. He simply copies and pastes whatever he has read. He cannot even explain the ideas very well. The essay is very long. I hate reading long essays. They make me very sleepy. There are many unfamiliar words. I had to open a dictionary to find the meaning. The sentences are also long. Why doesn't he shorten it? I do not recommend others to read his essay. They will surely feel the same way once they have read the essay. Okay, so this is an example of a reaction paper. So I'd like you to take a moment and look closely at what this person wrote about his or her reaction paper. Okay, so what can you say about this reaction paper? Do you think this one's a good one? Do you think this is a formal reaction paper? Or yeah, what can you say about this reaction paper right there? Yeah, I will be asking you questions like, is this how one should write a reaction paper? Like, look closely on the article on your right of part of your screen. So is this how one should write a reaction paper? Why? And what is a good reaction paper for you? Okay. Well, as you can see here on our right part of the screen, like my reaction paper, as you can see there, that person is actually basing on his point of view, just very informal way of really doing a reaction paper about a book he just or she just finished reading about that author. And at the same time, she or he is definitely using words that are not appropriate when you write a reaction paper. So a reaction paper, a review, or a critique are specialized forms of writing in which a reviewer or reader evaluates any of the following. So you can evaluate any of the following like a scholarly work. So when we say scholarly work, this is about academic books and articles. And you can also do evaluations about a work of art, like performance art, play, dance, sports, film, and exhibits. And you can also evaluate like designs. When we talk about industrial designs, furniture, and at the same time, fashion designs. And lastly, about graphic designs, like evaluating about a poster, billboards, commercials, and digital media. That is the things that we can write about a reaction paper, a review, or a critique. And yeah, I hope you will take note of that. Okay. Now, well, as you know, in everyday talk, the most common meaning of criticism is something like finding fault, right? And to be critical is to be censorious, but a critique can see excellences as well as faults. So that is why for today, we are going to be knowing the critical approaches in writing a critique. So on the right part of the screen, or the table, you can see there formalism, feminism, and reader response. And lastly, we have the Marxist criticism. So we will be doing an individual explanation about these different type of critical approaches in writing a critique. Well, let's begin with the first type. Our first type is what we call the formalism. So when we say formalism, this is about a claim or claims that literary works contain intrinsic properties and treat each work as a distinct work of art. And at the same time, formalism also posits that the key to understanding a text is through the text itself, the historical context, the author, or any other external contexts are not necessary in interpreting the meaning. So this is how you critique This is a critical approach in writing a critique in a formalism way. So when we say formalism, the common aspects that you can look into formalism is about authors' techniques in resolving contradictions within the work. And you can also take a look at the central passage that sums up the entirety of the work. And you can also take a look at the contribution of parts and the work as a whole, and to its aesthetic quality. So as you can see, again, formalism is treating a work as a distinct work of art. And you can also look into formalism about the relationship of the form and the content, and also the interconnectedness of various parts of the work, the paradox, the ambiguity, and the irony of the work, and the unity in the part of the work. Okay, and you can also make use of imagery to develop the symbols used in the work. So formalism, basically we can do this type of critique when we do literary criticism. This is a very important thing. This is a good way of critiquing a literary work. Okay. Okay, we also have our second type of critical approach in writing a critique, which is a feminism. So feminism focuses on how literature presents women as subjects of socio, political, psychological, and economic oppression. And this also reveals how aspects of our culture are patriarchal and how our culture views men as superior and women as inferior. So you can actually use this type of critical approach, especially when you are reading about a literature when the main part is about, the subject is about women. So there are also common aspects to look into when using feminism approach. So you can take a look at how culture determines the gender and how gender equality is presented in the text, and at the same time how gender issues are presented in the literary works and other aspects of human production and daily life, and how women are socially, politically, psychologically, and economically oppressed by patriarchy, and how patriarchal ideology is an overpowering presence. So I think when you do a lot of reading and you came across a 21st century type of reading is what we call the chick literature. I think you're familiar with chick literature. The subject is about women, about the problems that the 21st century women are facing. And when you do critique about that, you can make use of the feminism critical reading approach when you do that. Okay, and we also got here a lot of students joining us in the class. We have Dream Rose Malayo tuning in from Antique. Thank you for being with us today. And we also have here our number 3 critical reading approach is what we call the reader response criticism. So when we say reader response criticism, this is concerned with the reviewer's reaction as an audience of a work. And at the same time, reader response criticism claims that the reader's role cannot be separated from the understanding of the work. And a text does not have meaning until the reader reads it and interprets it. And there are also common aspects that you can take a look into when using reader response criticism. So there should be interaction between the reader and the text in creating meaning. So of course, as the one reading it and as the one doing your critique about that certain work, you also make sure that there should be interaction between the reader and the meaning of the text. Like, do you really understand everything about what you are reading? So basically, the reader response is about giving a criticism about what you have understood with the things that you are reading. And at the same time, reader response criticism, this actually has the impact of readers' delivery of sounds and visuals in enhancing and changing meaning. So there is a very great impact when we do reader response criticism about the visuals and sounds that you as the one reading it, your meaning or your understanding towards that certain work changes to. Okay, And we also have here our number 4 critical approach is a Marxist criticism. So Marxist criticism concerned with differences between economic classes and implications of a capitalist system, such as the continuing conflicts between between the working class. So this is about the Marxist criticism. And at the same time, the Marxist criticism attempts to reveal that the ultimate source of people's experience is a socio-economic system. And when we do Marxist criticism in our critical reading critique or review or reaction paper, is that there should be a social class that are represented in the work. And a social class of the writer or the one creating it, which is what we call the creator. And also there should be social class of characters. And lastly, we do conflicts and interactions between economic classes. So that is about the Marxist criticism. And there are actually a lot more critical approaches that you can use when you do your critique. We also have the postmodern criticism, psychological criticism, biographical criticism, and so on. I think that there are a lot of ways to really have a different approach when you do your criticisms or when you do your critiques or review, or at the same time a reaction paper. Okay, now let's do a wrap up about what we have discussed in today's class about week number 5, our topic regarding what we call the how to express your personal opinion. So once again, we definitely talked about what we call the opinions. So always remember that opinions are your own views of certain issues or concerns. So yeah, like your opinion, like what you feel about something, basically what you wanted to express, and that is your opinion. Like it could be your stand about something, what you believe about something, that is opinion. And of course, always remember that when you do a formal way of expressing your opinion, you can make use of these following phrases that you can see on your screen. You can see here, I think, I believe, I feel, in my opinion, and I would say. And well, there are also another way of expressing your opinion without using these phrases. So what you do is that you can try to eradicate or erase the phrases. So basically, instead of saying, I think technology is harmful, you can instead say directly that technology is harmful. So you are not using the phrase, but you're then expressing your opinion about a thing. So that is, technology is harmful. But always remember that if you do not use these phrases, that means to say that it is an informal way of expressing your opinion. Okay. And we also talked about today, in expressing your opinion, you should write your opinions in complete sentences. Now, why do we do that? We need to express our opinion in complete sentences because we need to really give our point in a clear way, that we know the ones we are communicating to really understood our point clearly or our opinion clearly. And at the same time, you need to add the facts and your explanation to support your opinions. So always do that so that your opinions will not just be biased, like based on your personal opinions only. So we do add the facts to your explanation to support your opinion. We do that by doing research online or look into some books for facts to support your opinions. So how do we do that? We do that by doing a printed source, which is about the details here that you can see on your screen. When you do printed source, you need to put the title, the author's name, the year of publication, the volume number, and the page numbers. And you can also do online sources by giving these details right here, like about the author or the editor's name, and the title of page or website, the company or organization. And you also need to put there the link. This is very important. This is very important for you to paste where you got your online source from, so that the people who are reading, or the readers who are looking into your critique or your reaction paper, will also get to know where did you get your online source from. Okay, next. Well, we also got here, earlier we actually revealed these scenarios about Zenny, Jack, and Rosie. So as you can see, Zenny here wrote a reaction paper after reading in the class. And Jack here watched a movie, and the way that he wrote a reaction is by posting on Facebook account. And Rosie here actually wrote a review on her blog. So reactions, or doing a reaction paper, we do that day-to-day basis. Like after watching a movie, we do post what we felt about the movie on our social media accounts, right? So that means to say that us, we do ordinary evaluations in day-to-day basis. So it's really a great thing that we do that, because we know that we understood what we have watched or what we have read by doing these kind of things. Okay. And as you can see here earlier, I've read to you about this reaction paper. And this reaction paper really showcases not a good reaction paper, because as you can see, the author is expressing his or her opinion by really having these words like disappointed, at the same time describing the writer as a boastful writer, and at the same time reading his essay, not recommending it to other people or to other readers. So this one is not a good reaction paper. So again, a reaction paper review or critique is a specialized forms of writing in which a reviewer or reader evaluates any of the following works: scholarly work, work of art, designs, and at the same time, graphic designs. Okay, and earlier we also did critical approaches in writing a critique. So always remember formalism, feminism, reader response, and Marxist criticism. Okay, so I think we will try to delve in more about these critical reading approaches later on our next week's discussion. And I would also like to invite you guys, or my senior high school students, to keep in watching DepEd TV every Fridays and Saturdays, 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world. And Tutor Nova is there. Okay, so I'd like to say thank you everyone who are with us today, the senior high school students who are with us today, giving their opinions or giving their answers on the comment section. And up next, we also have here Stick Around, Reading and Writing with Tutor Jess will be coming right up next. So everyone, senior high school students, thank you for being with me today from 4 until 4:40 in the afternoon today. I do appreciate your responses, and I do appreciate your engagement in today's lesson. So thank you, and I will see you again for our week number 6 for English for academic and professional purposes. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan bukas mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa Filipino. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!